Okay, final stuff on political institutions. So this slide is our Federalist and Anti-Federalist side. It has three important things that you need to know. The first thing is how political parties got started. So, as you saw from your early political parties assignment, George Washington did not want political parties to happen. He thought that they would take too much power and they take control, which political parties have taken a lot of power. Now, the two groups started forming as early as when they were making the Constitution. They started kind of, you probably saw it in the movie we watched, A More Perfect Union, where there were the people who were like the large states and the small states, right? Like they had issues and they would kind of form their own little groups to talk about those issues and they would try to get the other people to join their side, right? Anyway, so two groups started forming when the founders started creating our Constitution. And when they passed the Constitution, two more groups formed, okay, as they debated over these issues. Now, they were formed, as it says on this slide, because people believed that there was strength in numbers, and they were hoping that people who were kind of like on the fence would they can sway them to their side, and they would get more people to join in their party. Okay, that was kind of their hope. So they're like, well, if we get these kind of in-betweeners to join our side, we'll have more people, and then we can have more power. So the two first political parties that formed in our country were called the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. Now, the Federalists, they loved the Constitution. They loved everything about it, and they wanted to keep it just the way that it was. They really liked the idea of having a strong national or central government. That means like the government now we have in Washington, D.C., our national government, they wanted that to be really strong and have a lot of power. Okay? They thought that they needed to have all the power located there so that they could control the states and control the country as a whole. And they also wanted the national government to be in charge of bank and money, which kind of makes sense to have the national government in charge of money, right? Like, so that each individual state doesn't make their own type of money. That'd be a problem. So that was the Federalist idea. Then the Anti-Federalists, anti means against, so that's an easy name, Anti-Federalists, they liked the Constitution for the most part, but they thought that something very important needed to be added on. They thought that there needed to be a Bill of Rights added onto the Constitution before it became the Constitution. They're like, we will not vote to pass the Constitution until you put in a Bill of Rights. You can see which party won. The Anti-Federalists won on this because they thought that it was so important that your rights as citizens would be listed out and explained in the Constitution so that no one can ever go against those rights. So you will forever have freedom of speech. You will forever have freedom of religion. You'll forever not have to quarter soldiers in your house. I thought that it was so important to have all of those rights listed into our actual Constitution. So they're like, we're not going to pass this Constitution until those get put in. And it happened. Then, because they're the opposite of the Federalists, they wanted the states to have more power than the national government did because they were worried about back in the time when England had such a strong national government. England controlled everything. So they said, no, we don't want a big, huge national government. We want each state to be able to control their own area stronger than the national government did. So they're like, we want the state of New York to be able to control the things going on in New York. We want the state of Virginia to be able to control what's going on in Virginia. So they wanted the states to have more power than the national government did. And they wanted the states to be in charge of their own economies, their own banks, their own money, things like that. Okay, so Federalists, strong national government, and want the Constitution as is. Anti-Federalists wanted more states to have more power, and they wanted the Bill of Rights to be added in. So those are kind of the main things. Federalists, strong national government, no Bill of Rights. Anti-Federalists, states to have more power, and Bill of Rights. So they kind of ended up compromising. Obviously, the Anti-Federalists did get their Bill of Rights that they asked for and wanted. And then did I say Federalists? The Anti-Federalists got the Bill of Rights in like they wanted. And then the Federalists got a fairly strong national government for our country today. So, once again, hope those things make sense. Once you've gone through this and you got all the assignments done and things, then you can take your quiz. And if you have more questions, come into my office hours and then we can conference and talk through these things. Okay, bye guys.